Left winger Bassirou Diomaye Faye will be sworn in today, making him Senegal's youngest president in the country's history. This will be the first time for the 44-year-old to hold an elected office. Several African countries, including Nigeria's Bola Tinubu, are expected to attend the ceremony near the capital, Dakar. The formal handover of power with President Macky Sall will then take place at the presidential palace. Faye was part of political opponents freed from prison 10 days before the March 24 presidential poll. Joining us now is Mademba Ndiaye, who is a political economy analyst. Good afternoon, Mr. Ndiaye. Thank you so much for your time. Paint us a picture, if you will. What kind of country and economy is Diomaye Faye going to or about to inherit?
Oh, thank you very much, Mr. for the invitation. Sorry, I can have some technical problem. Mr. Faye is inheriting a country which has problems, because like any African countries, and he is in the country where we discover a lot of natural resources, and a country who's important politically for the international community, because the role we are playing in the regions and in Africa, and a country where the people are very, very, very high expectations, because for this time, these past years, the difficulties of the economy was so tough, and there is really a great hope from people to thinking that Mr. Bassirou Diomaye Faye will be the guy who will resolve quasi immediately all the problems of this country. This is what he is facing in this country, and we will see how he will try to manage these high expectations from mainly young people.
He has been described by some as left-wing. You've heard that from my intro. What does he stand for?
Sorry?
What does he stand for? Some people have described him as a left-wing candidate, but what exactly does he stand for, to qualify for?
You know, in Senegal, being right or left is not something very formal, because people just think that if you are in the opposition, you are at the left wing. What we can say is that Diomaye is belonging to a generation thinking that the interest of the country has not been really in the center of public policies. He was a trade unionist, and in this context of, around the region where all the young people in Mali, in Burkina Faso, etc., are saying that we must be free, because for a long time we had France at the colonial system, and France did not go out the country. We just have a formal independence, but not a real independence. And this is something, and with the currency we have, the franc CFA, young people think that it is a link between France, the former colonial power, and Senegal. So there is a general atmosphere saying that we are not free. And in this context, when we say that we have to be more free, etc., people think that you are at the left thing. That's what we call the left. But even in the left, you have a lot of varieties, from the communism, the Marxism, the nationalism, and so and so. So all these people are called left wing. Even in the power, you have left wing. So this is not really a big difference. This is just the general atmosphere in the region and in Senegal, saying we want to be free, we want to have in our hand all our resources, and mainly we should have a currency And for young people, currency is the mean of independence. If you don't have your own currency, you are not independent. And Diomaye was in this line as a candidate, in this line as a member of his political party, the past step. But, you know, at the end of the day, he will be a president dealing with the realities, dealing with the difficulties, dealing with some agreement we have with other people, and we'll see how he will manage all these situations. But he has the will to make some big change, including in our relations between the international community, and particularly between Senegal and France. And we'll see how we'll do it.
But is there something that unites or brings these relatively younger leaders from whether it's Senegal, whether it's Mali, Burkina Faso? Is there something that brings them together that's tangible beyond their, simply disliking France?
Oh, I think we should underline that the situation of Diomaye is different from any other situation around here. Okay, Diomaye is a very young boy. He is just 44. And he is the same generation that the president of Burkina Faso or in Mali and so and so. However, the big difference is that Diomaye has been democratically elected by his people. And because he is democratically elected by his people, he said immediately, he shows that he will not be, the revolutionary people are waiting for. He will be a president looking the reality and trying to make change, but within the current framework of the ECOWAS, because he didn't say we will leave ECOWAS like Guinea or Mali. We have our own currency. I mean, he's a guy, very deep thinker, very calm, and I think he won't take some, unexpected actions. He will talk with a lot of people, including Usman Sonko, let's say, his godfather, and other people, and try to have a realistic policies. Even if people think that as a young leader, he will be like, all the president around Senegal. If you see the attendance for this ceremony today, we have Ghana, we have Nigeria, we have Mauritania, we have, big countries of the ECOWAS. And I think Senegal has a tradition to be in a moderate way. And I think even if he will make some important change, he will be different from the militaries who took the power in Mali, in Niger, in Guinea, etc. He is a civilian. He has been elected probably by his own people in a transparent way. So I think this is something very different between he and the others. But also, as a young leader, as the new leaders in Africa, I think he will try also to bring his co-president, his friend, within a new organization, the ECOWAS, and I think he will try to bring them in the ECOWAS, showing that they can change the reality within the country, within this organization. And I think it will be also one of his challenges.
Inside, the country, how much cooperation do you think the new president will get from the very political opponents that he defeated in this election?
Oh, it is not really a big deal for him. Senegal, we have what we call the transhumance. When the religions are a very important role here, and if someone is elected, the former power will have a lot of people from the former power will join him, and it is also a problem we have because he he is a president of the anti-system, meaning he has to pull down the system and change it by a new one based on equity, based on integrity, based on, fighting corruption, etc., etc. But a lot of key figures of the former regime will try to come in his camp now. And I think he won't have a problem for these two next years with the political opposition. I think he will have, even in the Assembly Nationale where he has a minority, they will vote all laws he will try to pass. And I think in case of new legislative elections, it will be more empowered by the people. And I really don't think that he will have problem with the new opposition, because they are very weak and they are very, very strong, robust support from the people. And even the former regime will have a division inside, because they will analyze why they lost the elections, and they will be, a little bit divided for the first period of the presidency of Mr. Faye.
I'm going to leave it there. Let me thank you so much for your time and your insights, Mr. Mademba Ndiaye, who is a political economy analyst, talking there about Senegal's new president, who, of course, is being sworn in today, the youngest ever that country has ever had.